Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life with an episode of Desert Island Dregs. My guest is Iñi from Childrain, vocalist, frontman. That's how you would describe yourself, right?
Yeah. I'm just the vocalist in the frontman, yeah.
Energetic. So you've had enough. Call it coronavirus or the world in general. You're off to a desert island to live out the remaining days. Completely alone, but to ensure boredom doesn't set in, you've decided to take 3 items from each of the GBHBL main categories. So that's 3 video games, 3 horror movies, and 3 music records. So basically, we're going to go through each one. You can tell us as to why, and we're going to cover a little bit of your history of Childrain as well. So before you get into the first selection, for all those who don't know, and hopefully the ones who are watching and listening to this are aware of who you are from what we've said about you, Childrain, can you just give us a little bit of background information about the band?
Well, we are a Basque band from the Basque country. We have been in this for 10 years, I guess.
It's been a little while, hasn't it?
10 or 11, I don't know. My brother and I created the band, and now, after 3 records and 1 EP, we're trying to go to spread the virus in Europe.
Yeah.
And we have done several tours with 6 Feet Under, War, Voivod. We have this year we have 2 more tours at least through Europe, and just we play metal, and we hope you listen to us if you can, and just doing this for fun.
Yeah, and 2019 was a strong year for the band, wasn't it? You were out quite a lot. You got a lot of attention.
Yeah. That was because we changed our management, and we could be with Graviton Records, and they have an extraordinary. I don't know. It's a bigger company that we have. The previous ones that we worked, because we were working in Spain area only, and we have that luck that a label from the Netherlands was interested in us, and they make a great job, and they put us somewhere in the map in Europe. That was our goal for the past. We needed to do this thing with this record, and the previous one was intended to establish ourselves in Spain, but with the Silver Ghost we needed more, and they did a great job, and now we are in the touring circuit of Europe, and we are really, really happy to be there, because it's the best thing that you can do in your fucking life.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really funny. It's hard as well, because you are away from home, but it's really, really funny, and for me, it's the best thing in the world.
From 2019 then, what would you, when you reflect and look back, is there any particular moment that you would call your best of the year, or the one that stands out in your memory?
Well, for me, the best one, or the more the more important one, is when we saw a tour bus, an enormous tour bus, coming to chase us in Berlin, in Germany. It was like, oh fuck, this is real. So we were in the back of the bus, that there was a PlayStation, and in the back, if you've been in a tour bus, there's a kind of living room in the back. We were all sitting there, and it was kind of, fuck, this is real. We're in a tour bus. It was for me game changing, because the band and traveling by your own resources, it's great. It's cool because they are your bandmates, they are your friends. But to be in an enormous tour bus with your bandmates in Berlin was like, oh fuck, this is real.
Yeah.
I needed to do this. I wanted to do this since I was, I don't know, 10 years old, 11 years old, and I saw the vulgar videos of Pantera or Metallica or any band that were becoming crazy in their tour bus, and I was in the tour bus as well. I didn't become crazy, but it was for me quite important.
For that moment, you basically, that whole dream, I guess, when you're young, or that belief that as soon as you pick up a guitar, you're going to become a rock star, momentarily
Yeah.
felt real.
Yeah. I have been quiet because we started the band when I was 25, so I wasn't a youngster with no brain. But I was before because I started in music with 15 years, and I thought that I was one in 2 years time I was going to become a superstar, and all the labels are going to knock my door, and I do you want to be the next Axl Rose. I thought that it was that way, but with 25 years, I know that there was a lot of stone
Yep.
to break before doing anything that was considered like kind of rock star.
Yeah.
We're very far from that status of rock stars, but we are living some experiences that relates to that thing that I loved to watch when I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get started then with your first of your. We'll start with the video games. Your 3 video games that you'd like to take to the Desert Island with you.
Okay, I must accept that I'm an old school guy in these terms. Okay, I'm in my 30s, and my nostalgia. I'm quite nostalgic. So the first one, it's Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, right. Why?
Okay, because for me it's the unique video game that put myself really into another state of mind.
Okay.
When I played that when I was younger, and well, I played that 10 years ago as well as a remake of myself, and it's like a video game that truly gets you in the story. All the scenery, the music is fantastic. The story itself, for me, it's like I was living there in the video game. I felt like I was Cloud, really, and all the surrounding imagery of the story. For me, it's like, oh, I wish I could live there for real.
Yeah.
So, and it's quite a long game as well.
Yeah.
So I probably will have some hours in my isolation. So the first one, for me the most important one, Final Fantasy VII. Yeah.
Okay. No, I totally get that. It's obviously one of the most iconic games of all time. What's your feelings then on the incoming remake, or the remake?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. For me, it's not going to be the same because I'm not that young no more.
Yeah.
And for me, just putting the VSO of the original game is enough to feel in that kind of world. I close my eyes and I go, whoa! It's really good for me. But I don't think that game is going to be for me the same. But for me, it's really great because all the kids are going to have the chance to live that experience with updated. I think that it's gonna be an updated in graphics and in sound. So I think that it's great for that. They can live the experience that we lived 20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, you're never gonna be able to recapture that moment from your childhood, as you say, that you first played it and got immersed in it. It's
Yeah.
always wonderful to have that memory, and sometimes that's all it needs to be is a nice memory.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what's your second one?
Well, the second one, it's for me one of the best video games. It's one of the simplest ones, but it's Super Mario 3
Okay,
from
yep,
the I don't know how it was called in England. It's the NES
yep.
NES.
Nez, yeah.
Okay, okay. For me, that's a great video game because it was the second one that I have in my life. I didn't know even what a video game was. I was 9, I think I was 9, and I didn't know what was I didn't know. Yeah, the consoles and all the things were absolutely new for me, and playing that video game, it was really absolutely fun because I played the the first edition, the Super Mario one, but this one was more colorful, better music. He has some costumes,
Yeah.
and it was really, for me, being a child, it was like being in another place, in a better place, and that the things that were harming to you were I don't know, were plants and and kind of mushrooms and all the things, and it was really colorful, and it was this is better than real life. I can see that.
Yeah.
And and I used to play with my brother, the guitarist in the band, and we could play that game for 14 hours in a row when we were studying in the university. We played maybe for 14 hours in a row. So imagine, or hooked on that video game.
Amazing. So when it came to the jump then, so you had played the original Super Mario Brothers, and then
Yeah.
you played Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean, I guess as a kid, maybe it's not something you notice as much, but the jump in quality between, the style of 1 and the style of 3 was massive.
Yeah. It was really. It wasn't even the same vibe playing the video game. The one, it was cool. It was the first video game I played in my life. It was cool because it was new, all new. But the third one, those colors, that music, I think that it was the best one. And then committed a mistake because I bought later, after having the third, I bought the second one, and the second one was weird. I don't know. It was like the colors were more. I don't know, more. I think I don't like the second one. It was weird. It's the vibes that I have playing that were not cool. I don't know why. I don't know. Stylistically, I think that they try to break the first one, but I don't get it.
No, I agree. I think can't quite remember what the story is, but I believe like number 2 wasn't supposed to be a Mario game originally when it was released, which is why it's so stylistically different. It's very strange, and it's almost as you say. When we talk about it, we go Mario 1, Mario 3, and then you go onwards from that. So, what was have you played any more modern Mario games?
Yeah, I was. I played Super Mario World, of
Yep.
course, the 2 editions, and I play Super Mario 64. I was obsessed with that game because I didn't have the Nintendo 64. I bought the PlayStation, and when that game came out, all the press and all all the people surrounding me uh, told me that it was the best experience of your life.
Yeah.
And I will agree with that if I have played with when I was 15 or 14. But I played when I was 20, 22 or 23, and it was great. But I didn't. I prefer Super Mario 3, for example.
Right. Of course, time had kind of moved on by that point. So what was once spectacular, the jump to 3D, was
Yeah,
inevitably gonna have lost some of that charm.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. What's your third one then?
Well, my third one, it will be Crash Bandicoot.
Okay. The original game, the first?
No, really. Well, the first three. I bought recently the anthology, maybe.
Oh, you're talking about the collection, right?
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's another game that puts me in a good mood, and I like that because the world itself puts me in a bad mood. So I need something external to be like happiness, and the Crash Bandicoot scenery, stylically, I don't know if that word exists.
Aesthetically.
Yeah, it's really great for me, and it's quite it's a really difficult game because people, I think that they think that well, nowadays kids are better than us playing video games. I have to admit that. But I found myself in trouble to pass the levels. I'm in the first one. I have to play the second and the third one, and in the first one I'm stuck in one stage, and I can't. I should look at some tricks or something because I'm stuck, and I can, if I don't do it legally, if I don't pass the stage legally, I don't feel right.
Of course.
So I'm there stuck, and I don't know when I'm going to continue playing.
Yeah, you got stuck. It stopped you dead, and you haven't gone back to it. No, I get that.
Yeah.
It's, the trilogy, the remastered trilogy, was good timing as well. Is say a chance for a new generation to experience it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, before we move on to your horror movies, then, you talked earlier on about touring plans for 2020 and so on. We're just in and around Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this still?
So tell me.
Is this still in relation? Are you still basically touring the last record, The Silver Ghost?
Yeah, we plan the Silver Ghost era.
Yep.
For speaking, in a 2-year cycle.
Okay.
So we published in April, I think, in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And we toured Europe twice the last year, and we intend to Europe at least twice in 2020, and in the end of the year we will start composing new music. Okay. My brother is already composing, so we plan ourselves like a 2-year cycle. You publish a new album, you tour for 2 years, and then you go back to the studio and repeat.
And in between that time, it's, as you say, just write new music, new ideas get put down, collected.
Yeah, my brother is really creative. He works in his own studio, but he always has, he plays a lot the guitar, and he always has these ideas that he keeps recording in his mobile.
Yeah.
Like do with his mouth. Quite ridiculous, but then it becomes a great song, at least for me. And he has some ideas right now. He has told me that I have to take more singing lessons, so I expect that I'm going to have a real challenge in this record.
Okay.
Because he wants me to be more expressive and melodic and more I don't know. I told him that I'm not Matt Bellamy from Muse, not Freddie Mercury from Queen, so I should take more singing lessons this year. Yeah.
That's interesting because you've already got quite a powerful range in your voice already.
Yeah, but it's not enough for my brother.
Ah, I
Tell him.
wonder.
I was arguing with him. Oh man, I have a really wide range of octaves. What more do you need? And he told me, "Hey, don't be a loser. I need more." And that's it. I need more.
Okay, it was a challenge for
Well,
you, and I guess see
yeah,
what else you can do.
he pushes myself. He tries always to push myself to my limit. I started only growling, and thanks to him, I explore more textures in my voice, and he always is pushing me to explore more and to become better day by day. So I will have to take more lessons. Yeah.
I think it's fantastic because ultimately, I obviously got to know you guys through the Silver Ghost, and it was your incredible range on songs like Valley of Hope that really caught my ears and attention and stuff like that. So very excited to see with them what else you can do.
Yeah, you will hear it before it goes public. I
Okay.
will need your opinion.
All right then, let's go through your horror movies then.
Okay. Well, I must admit that I have been quite and I don't know how is said in English. I have much fear with horror movies,
Okay.
so I started watching them in my 20s. Okay, it was due to my, in the Silver Ghost I speak about astral journeys and some kind of issues that for me it cost me a lot of anxiety
Yeah.
watching some kind of films because I believe in those things.
Yes.
So it was quite scary for me. But to be honest, I started watching horror films when I was 30. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's quite. I'm not a really. Don't know how to say. I'm not an expert on this, but I enjoy myself a lot watching horror films nowadays, and I have been through them through real. I don't know, classic films and the
Okay.
new
Yeah.
ones, and I have my own. I don't know how to explain. My chosen ones. There will be the first one. It will be Ringu. The Japanese version
Of
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 the
Ring.
Ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I saw that picture, a motherfucker that it's called my friend.
Yeah.
After watching it, he called me to the phone to the uh, to the how not to the mobile, to the phone. So I was really
Oh
scared because
wow.
yeah, that was a great motherfucker. But after seeing that film, not like the American version. That is for me, it has more light. It's more like American version of something. It's more like a McDonald's. Oh yeah, more spectacle, more lights. The Japanese version is
Glossy
raw as hell.
Hollywood.
Yeah, the Japanese version is raw.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's gray. It's absolutely terrifying for me. Even the formations in the face after the call
Mm.
are like some kind of weird because the Japanese cinema, it's for me the best to play horror movies because they understand really well not that sense of a spectacle that Hollywood has. They understand really well the creepy imagery, the all the scenery. It's like depressive. It's like anxiety surrounding. I think that they keep that vibe really really like masters. It's not like the American cinema that is more like explosive and colorful and spectacular. So the Japanese version of the Ring, sorry, that is called Ringu, was one of my favorite films, and I didn't see it again after watching for one time. I didn't see it again because it's really powerful for me. It's
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it's an amazing choice because so I know the film very very well. So very basically, one night I'd been out drinking, and we're going back 20 years probably by now, 20 years ago. I'd been out drinking, and I'd come home and I'd put the TV on really late at night, and Ring was on, and it was about halfway through it, and
Wow.
I had never seen a foreign horror film before then, one with subtitles, be it from Japan or anywhere kind of country. So I'm half drunk watching this film, and by the end of that film, I was stone cold sober and obsessed with it. And after that, like J horror, K horror, and so on. Incredibly powerful movie, absolutely right. And it's of a time, it's a time capsule now almost, because of obviously stylistically from phones and videotapes and things like that just don't exist in modern day.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, what's your second one?
Well, the second one, it's more than the film itself. Is the team that they are. I don't know how to explain. My English today is quite.
I don't find
The film is Insidious.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, the film. I don't want to do spoilers here, but the film is about astral projection. Okay, and for me, it was really interesting. It's not really scary because I have become a kind of Superman to horror films after 30 years. And it's not really scary, but I enjoy myself a lot because they try to put in the screen something really important for me, as it is astral projection and all the dangers surrounding astral projection. And for me, it's a really big challenge to put those feelings, those experiences on screen. It's really really difficult because if you haven't lived it, you don't know what we are talking about. So the effort to put that on a screen, for me, it was kind of admirable. They, in my opinion, they are not getting it really really well because it's kind of impossible to put that on the screen. Though the experience when you are with an astral journey, but the main theme of the film, it was like the dangers of having astral I don't know, astral corpses in real life. And for me, it was really a really good film because of that. I haven't seen they are part 2 or 3. I don't know if there's a 4th part. I haven't seen just the first one. I'm going to see the second one and the third one, but I guess I'm not going to impress me a lot because once you see the first one, I think that if it goes in the same vibe, I think that it's going to be the same.
Well, particularly what you took out of it, I think certainly that's highlighted it more in a different kind of perspective. It's less about scares and glossy Hollywood horror for you, and more because it's telling a story or giving an indication or overview of something that you feel strongly have interest in or have experienced. So I guess it's a very different perspective than, let's be honest, the majority of people who watched it would have had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's exactly that. It's not the film itself; it's the issue that they are talking about and how to put that on screen. So for me, it was really interesting. I didn't get scared a lot. I must admit.
Yeah, that's a fantastic reason to add that one. Okay, what's your third one?
My third one is the only film that I saw when I was a child, and I
Okay.
have that moment. It was crucial for me, and after seeing that film, I couldn't see another horror film for almost 20 years. So this one is The Exorcist, and I saw this film when I was 10 or something. My parents didn't want me to see the film because they thought it was a bad idea, and they were right.
Yeah.
And it's if you compare that film to the to nowadays terror, but you probably will feel that, oh, it's not that, or gore, it's not that scary. But if you see that film when you are a child, and the cinema is not hasn't hasn't all the special effects that has today, and all the sound effects, that for me the sound effects in the horror movies are crucial, because it's more important than the image for
Yeah.
me, the sounds. And when I saw the Exorcist, I was completely blown up, because it was like, how in the hell can you be a kid, a woman in this case, and being affected by the devil inside yourself. And for me, the scariest part is all the process before uh, she gets the devil inside.
Yeah.
The process is really, for me, it's like a masterpiece of cinema, because I love cinema. And when you see that the girl starts to have some kind of temperature, you see
Yeah.
that the lights goes off in the house. In one scene, you can see in the kitchen that the light goes off, and the devil's face
Oh, the
appears.
flashing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really simple. It's like the flash, the face is like done by a child, just drawing it. It's not spectacular, or oh, what a texture, or oh, what kind of CGI it has. No, it's just and it's really scary. For me, I was really scared, because I thought that, wow, what was that?
Yeah.
I have seen something. I don't see it clearly, but I have seen, and you keep without the tension, and then the girl starts to become more and more ill, and starts
Aggressive and
to,
so on. Yeah.
yeah, depressive. And it's like they portray really well the past for a girl full of life. It's everything okay. Oh, my mother, okay, everything okay. And they go through that to that process, for me, like a masterpiece. Is when she gets, yeah, with the devil inside, and the priest in, and all the puke. And for me, that's interesting, because
Yeah.
I believe in those kind of things. It's interesting, but doesn't surprise me a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, the best part is the first one, that you see all the process. And when I saw as a child, I thought that it can happen to me, and I was like, oh fuck, I have temperature, fuck. Now I'm going to start to grow, and I ended up growing.
Yeah. It's. It's
It's a
an
curious
interesting
process.
way to put it, because you're right. The early stages of that movie, is she just getting ill? Is it part of
Yeah,
becoming a teenager? Because she even gets taken
yeah,
to the doctor and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, a film like The Exorcist, and I guess this applies to a lot of the classics. You almost wish you could go back as you are now to the time when it was first released and experience what others did. Because as you said at the start, put The Exorcist on now with someone who is younger and used to more extreme horror, And they're probably not going to get the same feeling of it that people did when it was first released, you know?
Yeah, yeah. When my uncle told me that when he saw it, he was 14
Ooh.
because my uncle is it's quite old now, and he told me that he had to puke due to the anxiety that created the film in himself. He had to puke.
That's
Now,
amazing.
if you put this film to some kid, he will probably say, "Well, that where are the effects? Where are the sounds? Where I don't know." They can. I think that they can appreciate all the all the imagery that that is more vintage.
Yep.
But for me, it's more scary because nowadays everything is CGI, and those guys and girls with no CGI and with nothing more than the usual effects for that time, they created a really scary and anxiety. For me, it's a truly masterpiece.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Right, before we move on to your records then, you've touched upon this a couple times throughout, so I'm wondering if you don't mind telling everyone the astral projection. So you've talked a lot about it. Do you want to go through your experience?
Yeah, well, I can I can look now like a crazy guy because when you openly talk about these things, people usually don't believe you because it's if you don't experiment by yourself, you probably will think that I am on drugs or some kind of drunk or I don't know. I don't do drugs.
And it's
So
early in the morning, so you can't be drunk.
yeah. So for me, I started having these experiences when I was 9, and I thought that it was just a nightmare. Okay, so I can see myself floating in my room, and I just I just believed that it was a nightmare or a dream. It depends on the experience that you have. But 9 years later, I had a quite I don't know how to explain. It's a quite bad situation, trauma maybe in my 80s, and I started suddenly having more intense experiences on this side, and I told my aunt in this case because I have some kind of confidence to talk about weird things.
Okay, cool.
I told my aunt, and she told me that our family from the mother's part, that every one of us has that kind of sensibility to have those kind of experiences. So once I realized that I was crazy because there was a moment that I thought that I was schizophrenic.
Fair enough.
Yeah. When I realized that it was another thing, and I believed that, I started studying the stuff and trying to give an answer on my experiences. And suddenly I realized that it was a gift. Really, it was a gift for me that I can experience that extracorporeal things and noises and experiences. It's like you go yourself, your conscience. I don't know. You travel with your conscience, and you see yourself in your bed, and you can travel through walls and like a ghost.
Yeah.
And for me, I have had. I would say that I have not thousands but hundreds of experiences in these terms, and for me, it's enough to believe that there are not dreams, because you can distinguish really well. If it's a dream, you probably saw a unicorn, and I don't know, and Phil Anselmo telling you that you are great. But in the experience, you can see yourself, you can see your Sally, you can see your Dragon Ball characters in yourselves, you can see your books. So you are experiencing something that is real, because
Okay.
your mind cannot recreate that so perfectly. And you see yourself sleeping with your girlfriend, and you see yourself in your bedroom. So a part of that, then you can have luck and have a great experience, or you can be really, really terrified, because
Mm.
just a mystery in a mystery between the unknown of the situation, that you are, what the fuck,
Yeah, yeah, I'd
what is
imagine.
happening? Am I dying? Because
Yeah.
the first experience is you think that you are dying, because it's quite the same. It's like you're going through your body, and you go flying.
Yeah.
And then, well, I have worked a lot on that with meditation, and so some kind of techniques to take the good part of it. So for
Okay.
me, it's just a gift, and I feel myself, that I have to tell, the people that listen to our music, that for me, at least, there's something that we are not aware of, and it will be interesting, just not to experience, just to consider that is something that it goes, um, that it's not everything that you can see, touch. Reality has many levels
Okay.
and dimensions, and for me it was the moment to tell the people that.
You already kind of touched upon it there at the end, and it was something I was thinking as you were talking. So as you became more aware and talked to your aunt and learnt about what you were going through, you said already you started to look into techniques and things like that, I guess, to understand it better, or to try and... Is there any like manipulation in your part where you're able to do things now that because you understand it better?
Yeah, my goal, it was to try to control it,
Right.
just to try to do it when I wanted to do it. Because, as I said before, you can have the better experience of your life visiting, I don't know, another planet,
Yeah,
but
okay.
that as the main wow I have been in the universe, or you can have the worst experience of your life. It's scary because you can see creatures, creatures that surround you, not just in bed. You go to other spaces, and you can see creatures, and you can, I think that you can die of a heart attack, because
Okay.
it's like living the horror films that you can see in TV. For example, Paranormal Activity, for me, it's real. For me, it's not a film. For me, it's real. I have seen in my wardrobe to spread wide open by itself, and I have listened to growlings calling me. So it can be really, really, really terrifying. So
Yeah.
I wanted to keep that fear away, and the only way to keep the fears away is to study in the thing that you are trying to evolve. And I studied a lot, I practice a lot, and it goes as well with all the chakras, the energy points in our body. One of the techniques is to put them in function, because nowadays the humanity, it it doesn't have that kind of spiritualism, and put the energy. You need to control your inner energy, because no one can tell you that you don't have an inner energy. That's proven by scientific people as well, and you have to control and try to to take the good part of these experiences.
Okay.
And I managed to control in a small way. I will say I cannot travel whenever I can, but if I get the right conditions, I can do some techniques to just power it up.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't happen, and sometimes it happens. And when I have a bad feeling, a terrifying experience, I can put myself in protection with that, because I know that that experience is a part of something that is unknown, not specifically bad. It's just unknown.
Unknown,
So I try to go through it, and I try to immerse myself the best I can. The more to penetrate in that experience. And sometimes I get so scared that I have to come back.
Right.
And you just have to move one of your body parts to come back to your body. And well, it's kind of science fiction, but for me it's real. It's
You're
just
always
real.
going to get that response. I mean, you before we started this part of the conversation, you started with, I don't want to say, but you got a look on your face, and imagine you're so used to having these conversations where you know what people's reactions are.
Yeah.
Either their eyes are going to glaze over, or they're going to get a little wry smile on their face because they think you're talking rubbish, basically.
Yeah.
It's a curse you're always going to bear, unfortunately, because these things, be it paranormal activity, be it out-of-body experiences, be it anything, aliens and so on,
Yeah.
Without definitive proof beyond one person's or another person's experience,
Yeah.
that's how it is, unfortunately, yeah. But your level of detail, it makes for a fascinating listen, because unlike, I guess, a lot of conversations, you're not just telling, this is what happened to me, you're trying to explain the experience and what you're learning from it.
Yeah, because I know that these experiences, everyone has these experiences. Everyone.
Yeah.
But people, when you haven't worked on your conscious level, I don't know how to explain. If you haven't worked your perception, there are techniques to work on that. You probably will think that it's a nightmare or a dream, or more probably your brain will erase it.
Yeah.
It will erase it. And for me, there were so many experiences that I just needed to know what the fucking hell was happening to me. And I realized that everyone has these experiences, and for me it's worth to try to just to consider that it can be true. It's not a religious thing. I hate religions. I don't believe in a bearded God that is creating the wolves and the dogs. I don't believe in anything related to that. Religion for me, it's just cancer for humanity. It's a control method. But I do believe in spiritualism.
Yeah.
I do believe more than a piece of meat. And I have lived that experience. It's not my thinking of. I have experienced it. So for me, in my small area of people, I have always talked about this, and I have not much success except for 2 people, but people respect my vision at least.
Yeah.
But I needed to, as the band it was growing, I needed to tell the people that maybe you can have that kind. And some people, I have been the feedback of people telling me that they are experiencing astral journeys, and if asking me if I was speaking about that.
Okay.
And I told them, yeah, of course, Wake the Ghost, just the video you can see it. It's an astral journey.
Yeah.
It's actually an astral journey put into a video, and the lyrics for With the Ghost are just telling you that you have more than your meat, and that you should explore yourself and be aware of of all the things that are not material, and that you can live in a lot of dimensions of perception, and that it's truly not just funny, it's life changing.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
it's another world. So you are open to a world that it was a kind of fantasy for you. And for me, it's real, and I'm not crazy.
It is fascinating. It's one of those, almost from my perspective, makes me sad that I can't really understand or relate in that sense.
Yeah, it's quite common. No problems, man.
Okay, let's get on to your records then. 3 records. What are you bringing with you?
Okay, well, this is a selection that it's made related to this things that we have been talking about.
Cool.
And for me, the first one, I will put the greatest hits, because I don't know which record to choose between the discographies. So I will put a Pink Floyd's greatest hits.
Okay, Pink Floyd's greatest hits. I mean, I have noticed behind you there on your left-hand side is that, So you're a big Pink Floyd fan.
Yeah, I absolutely love them, because I think that it's the most creative band I have ever listened to.
Oh.
Because for me, doing those kind of songs in that time, well, it was a lot of drugs, and you can say, oh, but all the people were with LSD, and okay, they were on acid. Okay, put yourself on acid and do that song. I will commend you to do that fucking song with acid or whatever you want. For me, they just they put your conscious level in another state. So it's not just like they are really good song composers, because they do their songs are really good. The structure and the way they play their instruments, the choruses, it's really, for me they are aliens. They can't be human. Okay, and for me the best thing of Pink Floyd is when I listen to them. It's one of the bands that I put myself to do the techniques of the astral projection and that, because they are, in some songs they are talking about that directly, and they know how to create that that stage in your mind that you are more open to let the universe enter into you.
Okay.
And, for example, I don't know. There are so many songs, but
I mean,
I don't know.
As an overall act, ignoring the progressive elements, the technical edge, and stuff like that, they have that psychedelic touch as well from across their entire back catalogue. Where people have taken their stuff and tried to almost associate with so many different oddities in the world, not just the one that you personally invested in as well.
Yes, for me they are just. I will carry that record with me, because they have so many levels of textures as well. You can hear one song, and every time you hear the song, you discover something new. You see another detail that it wasn't taken into account before, and you can see, oh, what he's that David Gilmour's guitar playing, the solo, that sound, it's like the for me it's like a guitar sounding in the universe. It's like you can feel the power of the sound of the guitar in David Gilmour's guitar, and for me they are masters. Not from this year.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the equivalent of not just seeing colours; it's hearing and smelling colours. That kind of experience.
Yeah, and I started listening to Pink Floyd. I used to smoke weed when I was a kid. Well, kid, no, a youngster, better said. But I haven't smoked weed listening to Pink Floyd in any time. I have listened Pink Floyd drunk, and it's it's really cool. But the best moment to listen to Pink Floyd for me is being in my bed, resting, and just traveling in the world that they are playing to me. So
Fantastic.
there are not many bands that can do that.
No, not ones that you can feel that encompass your mind completely. Okay, what's your second record then?
The second one, it's like Pink Floyd, but it's like Pink Floyd, but in the 2000s.
Okay.
It's the Lateralus from Tool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for me, the reasons are quite similar because for me, that record is their highest peak for me. It's simply a masterpiece in every term. That you have a structure that may be considered like progressive or kind of I don't know, difficult to understand. But for me, it's clearly put in that way after thinking so much in the structure of the song. It's not like I'm playing this and then now the breakdown and now the chorus. No, they are aliens as well.
Yeah.
And this record in particular, it's a completely journey, and I have to listen to it from the first note to the last note to have a whole vision of the journey they are planning to you in the record. So for me, it's incredible because you can see the structures, the strange drum patterns. You can see the lyrics that are brilliant for me. You can see Maynard's voice that it's like a mantra in some cases. For me, it's in the modern metal. Well, modern in my terms. Yeah, Tool is not a modern metal, but in the last 30 years, for me, it's the highest peak in progressive metal. Maybe, I don't know. But for me, it's the most important record. That it's not just a record; it's a journey, and I love those kind of records.
Yeah, you've got a bit of a theme here where it's clear that you love the idea of these almost encompassing records. Where with that album in particular, you talk about the styles, but even visually, from the LP covers, the vinyl covers, to how it's stylistically shown, and even the music videos they did for it has that vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the videos. They are really weird, but for example, in the Schism, I think sorry, Parabola, Parabola video, that it ends with like a human with all these flames with eyes, putting the chakras on them, and it ends having the chakra, the here, and expanding to the universe, the conscience to the universe. Well, that's true for me. And when I saw that, I was before in my astral things, and when I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, that's exactly what it happens. So these guys know something that I know as well, and that created a kind of like, oh, Maynard, you should speak with me, and I should speak to you.
A bond.
And then because the guy later I have read that he used these things not to mock about, but he don't take himself so seriously.
True.
So maybe it's a case of I have been, I have understood something that he wasn't trying to tell me, but for me, it's valuable as well. So my own interpretation of his songs are, for me are okay, and I love them. It's a really really alien band, not from this planet.
I love that. They
The
are an alien
drumming,
band with an alien album.
yeah, the drumming, it's just crazy. You can put some nowadays the blast beats and all the speed and yeah, that's right, that's great, but you should listen to, for example, schism, and the drum patterns are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They are just masterpiece. I don't know. It's one of my favorite drummers, Danny Carey, and I can even know what the hell is he playing, is he doing, and I know, I, I consider myself that I know something about drumming, and that guy always blows my mind.
It makes you go, okay, you know nothing really, because this is guy
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah. Tool is that kind of band that when I listen to that, I just get myself depressed, and I tell myself, you are not doing nothing. You're just doing some kind of metal with punk rock, man. Go more progressive. I don't know.
Bands like Tool, they're a once in a lifetime, once in a generation experience. It's not a
Yeah,
bar anyone should be setting themselves, because Tool are Tool. It's as simple as that. A Maynard
yeah.
is Maynard, and so on. Right, what's your third record?
Well, my third record, I'm getting away of this potential mind thinking music, and I will keep my vulgar display of power.
Okay, Pantera,
Yeah,
Vulgar Display of Power. So
yeah.
I'm
For
gonna
me,
imagine this one had a big part on your youth, yeah?
yeah, yeah. Well, the first record that I listened to, it was Cowboys from Hell, and it was really cool because I started with metal in with Metallica and some bands, and then I listened to the Cowboys from Hell, and I realized that the guitar player was extremely good,
Yeah.
really, really, really cool, and the riffs and the all the groove that they have in songs like Clash with Reality or Primal Concrete Sledge. It was like, oh, this band is cool. And then I listened to Reinventing the Steel, and it was like, okay, this band is aggressive and it's huge. And then I listened to the mix between those two records. For me, is the Vulgar Display of Power that has the vibes and the cleanliness. It's more clean
Yeah.
for me than Reinventing the Steel, but it has all the aggressive part that I love from Pantera. For you can maybe you can, when you listen to that record, the first I don't know, the first impression is that Phil Anselmo is screaming, and he's not screaming. He's singing aggressively with a technique that is fucking insane. You can hear the notes perfectly, the harmonies, but he sings in a harsh way those notes. Then Anselmo lost his voice, and now it's I am the voice, and he screams, and he's destroyed. I love as well the reinventing the Still Days, because I think that is really violent, the scream and the. But in the Vulgar Display of Power, it was a younger boy, a really difficult voice to sing and to copy. And well, with the brothers, my hat off. Though that groove, that rhythm section with Rex Brown as well, they sound tight. Is no band sounds tighter than Pantera, with permission of Gojira, that they are, for me, they sound like Pantera in terms of tightness.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about music. It's incredible the power that has that record, because you have some for me, it's like The Exorcist. As I said before, if you put that record to a kid nowadays that is listening to this progressive, brutal death gore green, he
Yeah.
would say, "Oh, that's really easy to play. Oh, look at the drums, tum pan tum tum pa. It's not spectacular. Yeah, take that groove and do it."
It's
For
over
me,
time, as you say, but there's a reason why it's so iconic. And it's surrounded by great Pantera albums, be it Cowboys from Hell, The Great Southern Trendkill, Reinventing
yeah,
the Steel, and so on. Yet it is still seen as the barometer, the high point of groove metal of that period. Of even by today's standards, you can't go anywhere without hearing Walk or the likes of that. You know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's everything. Cool.
yeah.
Thank you for doing this. I know it's quite a long, talk, so I really appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me, man.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. Go to Patreon and help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?